5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, August 3rd, and I'll call to order this regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education. Ms. Stoikoi, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Coco?
Here.
Mr. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Here.
Ms. White?
Here.
Thank you. Item B, approve the agenda. Number 1, motion to approve the agenda. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the agenda of the August 3rd, 2022 Board of Education meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Thank you. Item C, opening ceremony. Welcome our vision, Cuyahoga Falls City Schools, the hub of our community, committed to a culture of caring. We innovate, we create, we personalize education for all. Our mission, every student, every day, every opportunity. And a special welcome tonight to Dr. Selico for her first board meeting as our official superintendent. And she has some people to welcome as well, so while we're on welcome.
Okay, I do. I had a couple surprise visitors this evening, so I want to just thank Tim Tench is a former Bedford board member, and Trish Duncan is the current Teachers Union president in Bedford as well. So that was a nice surprise, and I appreciate you coming today. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 2, informational items. This meeting is a meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It's not a public community meeting, although there are opportunities for public participation. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic found on the meeting agenda, the individual must complete a registration form found inside the attendance notebook and present it to the treasurer. Following the introduction of the topic by the board president, followed by board discussion, the individual will be recognized. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic not found on the meeting agenda, they must notify the superintendent and or board president of the topic no later than 3 calendar days, we changed it, in advance of the meeting. These individuals may share their comments during the board business portion of the agenda. In both cases, the individual will preface comments by announcement of their name and address and limit comments to 3 minutes. All statements should be directed to the board president. No person may address or question board members individually. In addition, in public session, the board will not hear complaints about school personnel nor against any person connected with the school system. An unabridged board agenda for this meeting can be found on your electronic device at the address shown on the screen, and for your convenience, there are hard copies of the board agenda on the librarian's desk. The next regularly scheduled meetings of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education are August 17th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. here in the high school library, and a construction planning meeting is on August 25th at 6 p.m. here in the Cuyahoga Falls High School library. Now for our Pledge of Allegiance, Mrs. Schaefer.
Please stand as you're able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. On to item D, presentations. We have one presentation tonight, our summer school celebration. Dr. Cruz, please.
So for tonight's presentation, I worked with Christine Stewart to make a fabulous video, but there's certainly some people that I want to thank. Obviously Christine, because it's an amazing production. Well, you'll see. So we're highlighting our summer experiences for our students, and there are a lot of people behind the scenes that played a role in making these happen. Our operations department, our custodial staff put in extra time. Our transportation department bussed our kids where they needed to be. Our food services department provided meals, breakfast and lunch. We had teachers dedicate their time. We had administrators dedicate their time. It was really an amazing to watch all the people that came together to help our students have some great experiences this summer. So please, Mr. Hutch. think it speaks for itself. It's pretty awesome things that happened here this summer to keep the enrichment and the learning happening. So thanks again to all the people that played a part in that.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Question? Thank you. On to item E, Treasurer CFO's business consent agenda, Ms. Stoikoi.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend the Board of Education approve all items listed in the treasurer's consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Ms. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Thank you. Item F, Treasurer CFO's business, Ms. Stoikoi, your comments.
Not much. Still busy. Still trying to catch up from the end of last year. I want to thank my assistant Joanne for filling in for me last meeting. Hopefully, she did me justice. Okay. She tried to make it seem like you guys liked her better than me, but I know better. So, looking forward to the new school year.
Thank you. Item G, Superintendent's business consent agenda, Dr. Selico.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. I'd like to recommend that the Board of Education approve all the items listed in the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I'm gonna ask Dr. Cruz to briefly mention some of the additional reading pieces that we're approving tonight. Dr. Cruz, please.
So you'll see there's a contract for Wilson language training, foundations and Wilson reading system, and that is to supplement and to create a real comprehensive approach to literacy in our elementary. So we know that students need direct and explicit instruction in phonemic awareness and phonics, and we found that we needed to supplement that part of our reading program. So we have foundations in our K-2 Tier 1 approach. So everyone in K-2 will have access to that explicit instruction. And then students who may need more targeted interventions will have access to our Wilson reading program, which is geared towards students who might need more of a multi-sensory approach to learning how to read. So we'll have both of those complement our existing program, and we believe in that approach of having that love of reading, that access to authentic text, combined with that explicit instruction. The other piece that's really fun that's a supplement is a program called Geodes, and that is some nonfiction text for our littlest learners, our K-2 students, and it works with our Foundations program. So it provides application of their phonics instruction into science and social studies content. So it's really an awesome combination to have what some may say is not as exciting explicit phonics instruction, but to have that application in content-rich texts really makes we're hoping a winning combination.
Thank you. And I think that's wonderful because as proud as we are about the fact that 98% of students in our K-5 literacy pilot school showed growth, it's that commitment to that 2% as well. And what do we need to get them to show growth as well, and building onto that. So I think that's wonderful. And it lives our district mission of every student, every day, every opportunity. So thank you and your team for that. Anyone else? Yeah. Please call the roll.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye. Thank you. On item H, Superintendent's business. Any comments from Dr. Selico this evening?
Yes, I have a few. Thank you. First off, I want to thank the board once again for the appointment and your confidence in me. I'm looking forward to taking on this new role and have enjoyed my time thus far in the district and getting to know people. So I do appreciate the early appointment and affording me the opportunity to start getting some things done prior to the official start date of August 1st. I also would like to just thank the different elected officials and the mayors and the police chiefs and all of the leaders in the community that I had the opportunity to meet, as well as some of our parents. Everyone has just been so welcoming. I'm really just really humbled by the welcome. So thank you to all of them. And I also had a great time so far with our administrative team. We've had some good times together. We welcomed them back last Monday, and so we're hitting the ground running. And in the next 2 days, we will have our retreat on Thursday and Friday. So we will have some guest speakers that we'll be listening to, as well as some team building, and then some team time in both afternoons. So we'll have time to work together as a team, as I had mentioned. And then next week, I will be walking through all of the buildings once again to just make sure that we're ready to go for the following week, make sure the buildings are in good shape and clean and welcoming for our students. So take a quick walk through with the principals to see that. And then on August 15th, we have our convocation, and board, I would welcome if you're able to attend. Would like to have you there. And Mr. Gomez, if you'd be willing to say a few remarks.
Just tell me the timeline.
We got you. I will let you know those details. Thank you. And then, we welcome the students on August 17th. So the most exciting day, I think, just getting to see all of our children and students come back and welcoming them and getting to know them. So just a lot to look forward to. And again, I'm honored and humbled for the opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome again.
Thank you.
On to item I, board business. Number 1, future agenda items. Does anyone have any future agenda items?
I do.
Ms. White?
I'd like an update on the gifted program. I know we changed it a little bit, and I'd like to update that sometime. It doesn't have to be right away, but, And then I'd also like a discussion on a student representative to the board as well.
Okay. Thank you. I have a couple things to put on your radar. One is that this month or next month, we're hoping to have a presentation and discussion about air conditioning and going into an emergency levy plan as well, so that we can put that information out there. And then because we have weird laws in Ohio, we can't be on the levy committee, but then once we as a district say what our plan is, then the levy committee people that legally can't be us can take that information and spread that news as well. So that's coming up in the next couple months here. August 9th, as a reminder, is the Planning Commission meeting. So that's a future thing to remember for. We'll be on Planning Commission next Tuesday if you want to attend. It's at the Natatorium. And then 2 things that have come out of our retreat. One is we highlighted that piece on data. So I want to ask all of us on the board to start thinking about what types of data we want to receive so that we can have a future conversation about it and then try to reach consensus about the types of data we need to best do our work, and then give Dr. Selico an opportunity to look at that and opine on what types of data that they have and how that would apply, if there are things that we're missing that she thinks we need. So my question for the board members is, do you want 2 weeks to think about that, or do you want a month to think about that?
I'm ready.
I think 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay, so we'll put that discussion. So bring your data thoughts to the next meeting, and we'll put them out there, okay? So that's homework for the next meeting, to start working on that. And then I will work, one of the other things we talked about was having a conversation about communications. So I will work with Dr. Selico, and that'll be on a future agenda item as well, but I just want to make sure we know that it's coming so that we can think about these things so we can be prepared when we have conversation. Okay?
I also will be doing, as required, the ESSER
ESSER update.
presentation next meeting. Yeah, just giving an update on where we're at and what we've done so far and what the plan is for this year.
Thank you. Item 2, committee reports. We're going to go through a few of these because I know we have some of them getting started back up for the school year, but I know that our 612 construction core team has a report, so that's Ms. White and Ms. Coco.
Yes, our regularly scheduled next meeting is not happening this week, so our next one will be on the 18th. With the retreat happening, it wasn't possible to do one. It was a really good, positive, productive meeting, the last meeting that we had. There obviously finishing up a lot of the necessary paperwork and permits and everything for us to be ready to start with the early site work. And Scott also gave a presentation that will be at our next community construction meeting on some of the things that we can do for saving cost and being diligent with our money as a district. Just for instance, the exterior of the building with the brick versus the concrete that looks like brick, there's not a difference in how long it would hold up and maintenance and things like that, but would be a significant cost savings to us. So they'll be bringing that to the community meeting as well. So it was a good meeting.
I know Ms. White, myself, and Mrs. Schaefer, on behalf of the board, represented the board to the neighbors meeting last night, which was, I thought, went very well. The neighbors were very receptive to the information, and I think most of them were honestly excited about the project. So I don't know if I would be, but
Yeah.
good for them.
They
We're
had
grateful
some
to them.
reservations, mainly about the trees,
Yeah.
the lights, and but I think Bill did a great job of answering
He's like-
questions. It went really well.
He was a very good communicator. So, and then that presentation that they gave last night, Hammond is going to give at our August 25th meeting as well about the work that'll be happening with that. And then our piece, our agenda item as a board is we're going to give a recap to that group about some of the engagement activities we've had, such as the neighbor meeting, and then we'll have done our second Falls Friday at that point. So give a little recap to them about those experiences as well. So. Wonderful, thank you. Alliance for School and Community Growth, Ms. Coco, you're getting
That begins, I believe, in September, second Tuesday of the month.
excited for that. Athletics and activities, you won't meet until after the fall sports season. Board policy, now that we have all the players in place, we will need to set a meeting for the four of us that are on the policy committee to meet. So we can hopefully work to get that set soon. Business Advisory Council, when are you meeting next?
That would be August 16th, the day
Okay.
before school starts,
Thank
8
you.
a.m.
And the Financial Advisory Committee should have all gotten an email with all of their dates for this coming school year as well. Foundation Alumni Association is meeting next Tuesday for our first meeting after our summer hiatus. We do have a partnership going on right now with the Sergeant Clean Car Wash, where you can get 60 days free car washes once he opens for a $5 donation to the foundation. So that's something that we're doing right now. Legislative Liaison, Mr. Harris, I know the legislature is still on summer recess. And Ms. White, District Leadership Team, is that August or September?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know when, so the date for the SAL?
We have not established.
Okay, I didn't think I'd heard.
Meetings yet for the
Okay,
year.
so I'm
Okay.
not sure. Probably September, I'm imagining, so.
Okay. Thank you.
October, I don't know, whatever. Let me know.
We will.
Thank you. On to comments, Ms. White, you're up first.
Well, I do have, as I usually do. Okay, I'm sorry, because we could be done, but oh well. I just wanted to say that I just finished this book, Helping Children Succeed, What Works and Why by Paul Tough. And it's mainly about economically disadvantaged children and what we can do. I'm not going to read the whole book, unless you guys want. I'm just kidding. But for those kids that are growing up in poverty, 15 million American children living below the poverty line, and almost 7 million of them are living in deep poverty with family incomes of less than $12,000 a year for a family of four. And just some of the things, how do we engage children that live in that kind of poverty? Well, first, we'd like to see public aid, of course, but, you know, we can't really do that. And then secondly, well, we can, but, you know, again, not as a board. But secondly, we need to change our practices and just think about a Post-it note with a good work or good job or something when you hand back a kid. That makes such a difference. Just the little things. The way math is organized, listening to a child facing a challenge, in their lives. Those things mean a lot to kids. So we need to think about that. Finally, we need to change our way of thinking, and instead of data, standard deviations and all that, but to think about them as individual people and just see where they are and how we can help. Helping children in adversity to transcend their difficult circumstances is hard and often painful work. It can be discouraging, depressing, infuriating, but the research shows that it can also make a tremendous difference in their lives. So, just a good book if anybody would like to borrow it. And then I do have from OSBA sends us a little magazine in the mail. And I did suggest, I know we talked about having a student representative, and I pulled this article, allowing a student representative to serve on the Board of Education is an effective way for a district Board of Education to gather input from students. The belief is that the more students feel they are part of the process, the more engaged and interested they will be in school. While student school board representatives lack voting powers, they may serve in advisory capacity and being an important feature to a board meeting. At the end of the day, by doing that, you are building leadership in students, which is very important. You're picking their brains, using their voices, and encouraging them to be involved in policy-making process. And finally, students share from a perspective that usually has not been represented. And I think it's important to hear from them, too, what's going on and so on. Incorporating student voice, we know that the board would determine that role. They don't get a vote, but whether they can be openly talking with us during discussions, that would be up to the board. But they can share if we so choose. For those districts that allow student school board representatives, the value of their contributions and the learning opportunities this presents can't be understated. So that is why I asked to bring that forward for discussion. I think it would be good. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Coco?
Yes, first of all, another huge welcome to Dr. Solico on officially being our superintendent here. We're so excited to have you as the leader of our district. Last week, as a board, we went to Falls Friday with TDA, with information about our 6 through 12 construction, and it was just really awesome to see the positive, mostly positive,
It was.
feedback from our community. And it wasn't, I would say only 50% were families that have people currently in the district and in our schools. There were younger up and coming couples and families that don't have children yet, super excited, and it was exciting to see the older population of our community excited and supportive as well. So we answered a lot of questions, and which was our purpose, to be out there, and I'm excited for us to do that again on August 12th. So if anyone's listening, come on down if you didn't have a chance to come on down. There's so many things going on the next 2 weeks that we're excited to be a part of as a board. This is an exciting time for us. It's an exciting time for the students coming back in the building, so just excited for all the different things going on. I won't mention all of them because there's a lot, but we will be out and about, all of us, and I appreciate everyone on this board. We divide and conquer well so that there's representation at all the different events in the district, so thank you to all of you for that. And just one last thing that I was thinking about talking to a parent in the district this past week. Most of our students are very excited to come back, and most of our parents and caretakers are excited as well. But there are some that have trepidation for whatever reason. It could be that they're new to this district, or they've had bad experiences, or maybe they're learning difficulties, whatever it may be, walking back into the buildings. And it just made me aware that every interaction with us as a board or staff members or anyone else, we really have the chance with each one of those interactions to either negate or validate their fears and trepidation. So things that may seem little to us or trivial to us are not to them and make a difference in how we handle them. So just a reminder for myself as well as everyone else.
Thank you. I'm up next. I want to echo your comments about the Falls Friday event. I wasn't there for the first hour or so, but I was talking to Scott last night as well. And we estimate from the point I got there, at least till the end, that there were at least 300 people that engaged with us. So that doesn't count that first hour. So that's, and most of the people did not know, many of them had no idea we were building a school at all, which continues to amaze me because they're paying a lot of money twice a year on those property taxes, and for it, which we're grateful for. But and then the few that did know that we were doing it didn't know the level of detail of information. So there's 300 to 400 more people out in our community that can spread the word about what is actually going on with our project. And as we know in our community, word of mouth is a very effective communications tool, so that will spread. So that's wonderful as well. And last night several of us were able to make it to the National Night Out event, as well as catch part of the football scrimmage. And they the boys football team looked pretty good last night, so I'm optimistic for a good season ahead for them. All right, Mr. Harris?
I will not echo everything that's been said. I would like to welcome Dr. Selico again. I could talk about you every meeting. We're all very impressed and talking to a lot of people in the community, a lot of elected officials. I know that they appreciate you taking that initiative to sit down and talk with them and get to know them. So we're very excited to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Schaefer?
I really don't have much to add. You guys pretty much covered everything. I would like to say that the scrimmage last night, the band was playing and they did sound fantastic. So I was happy to hear them.
Thank you.
And I would also like to say welcome one more time.
Thank you. Item J, adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.